Minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Everybody say anywhere but backwards. The words in that mission statement, it says to obtain, and the other one is maintain. Listen to me. To obtain means to come into the possession of something. Maintain means to keep it in existence. Listen, the reason why I say that, everybody say to obtain my sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it. Say to obtain our sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it.
To obtain our sobriety is easy. Our challenge is to maintain it. All right, I want to welcome everybody to the Minor Adjustments Virtual Group. I pray that everybody is logged on. I pray that everybody can hear me, that everything, the sound is good, loud and clear. Sorry about everything that happened last week. That was all on me. Charge it to my head, definitely not my heart. All right, so we're here again. I want to go over minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain a productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. Anywhere but backwards. I want to simplify that because a lot of times we complicate it when really we need to put some emphasis on not going back. So today we're going to go over some few different lessons. The lessons are going to come from some of you have the regular minor adjustments book, which is that book. These lessons come out of a different workbook, which is this particular workbook. And the reason why I created this workbook, because I want to have individuals to continue to build upon lessons that we have went over. I prayerfully will try to have these workbooks dispersed or given out to individuals who would like to have this book, because I like you to spend time and go through different rehabilitation skills, life skills, and just go through things that help you build your on your walk of your recovery. It's important because for 15 years, thank Jesus, that I have 15 years removed from everything that I used to do. However, even though I have these 15 years, I am constantly making minor adjustments. Remember, the mission statement says, very important, minor adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make, watch these words, the necessary adjustments, the adjustments that are necessary. That means that there are always going to be some adjustments that are necessary as you're constantly living out this life. Remember, the life we are currently living is a total different life from the life we was previously living. So there has to be some adjustments. Remember, anywhere but backwards. You got to make the adjustments. It's okay. 15 years, again, I'm still making some adjustments in regards to my walk or my sobriety or my recovery, whatever terminology you feel comfortable using. I really are not stuck on that. My purpose is on focusing on not going backwards. I know y'all understand that. All right, let's see what we got here. So far, I want to see if I can pull this up on the screen for you guys. All right, this is the screen. The first part we're going to talk about, or this class, we're going to talk about motivation. If some of you are familiar with me when I'm teaching about minor adjustments, I use the phrase, or I talk about how motivation only gets you started. It's your dedication that keeps you going. Motivation gets you started. It's your dedication that keeps you going. This is not just in one area of your life. This is in every area of your life. I can possibly motivate you to want to do some different things, to make some different adjustments, and that's great. But my mentor taught me, Michael, I can motivate you, but in order for you to get from 1 year to 15 years, it's going to take you being dedicated to it. So I gotta pull over, pause, and park right here for a moment. Remember, motivation, if you got paper or pen, write this down. Motivation only gets me started. It's my dedication that's going to keep me going. Remember that. It's very important. So today, briefly, I have here, you see on here where it says aim. What you want to always have something you're aiming for. So this particular lesson, in the other workbook, I say I have an expectation. In this particular workbook, I have an aim. And it says my aim is we will learn how to focus on realizing that we have a purpose in life, and that purpose far outweighs what we have been living thus far. Oh man, I gotta pull over and pause and park again. Listen, your focus, you have to focus on realizing your purpose in life, right? Your purpose far outweighs anything you have been through before. How can I prove that to you, that your purpose far outweighs anything you've been through before? This is how you know that your purpose in life far outweighs anything you've been through before, is because you made it this far. The only reason that you have made it this far, this is you and I. The only reason we made it this far, watch this, it was not because we were so smart. It wasn't because of our race. It wasn't because what our spiritual beliefs are. It wasn't because we had the spouse or the family. Or the only reason we made it this far is because our purpose for being alive, it far outweighs what we've been through this far, right? And the reason why that's important is because today you have to realize whatever that purpose is, this is something you have to spend time with. If I can't assume everybody has a personal relationship with a higher power or God or whatever you want to use. I personally do, and that's who I go to find out what's Michael's purpose. What's Michael's purpose? And I got to give you an example, or I got to give you the strategy that I use when I'm trying to track down the purpose I have. I used to go to God and ask God, what's my purpose? And then I learned that that was the wrong question. If you ever ask the wrong question, you possibly will get the wrong answer. I went back and I went to God and I said, God, what's your will? When I want to know his will, he directed me to my purpose. My purpose is connected to his will. So once I asked him, what's your will, Lord? What's your will? He directed me to my purpose. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. And I'm living that out. And I'm praying that I'm being a blessing to other individuals. Okay, let's get back to this. So it says, aim. We will learn how to focus on realizing that we have a purpose in life, and that purpose far outweighs what we have been living thus far. So whoever is tuned in today, or whoever will watch this video later, I just want to encourage you and let you know that the reason why you made it as far as you have, no matter if you still have your relationships with your families intact, no matter if your money is not the same when you first started out, no matter if you still have the same friends or not, or are you living in a different state or not from where you used to be, your purpose far outweighs any of that. So you need to spend time and find out what your particular purpose is. All right, let's see. It says, history is to society what memory is to individuals. Without it, memory, we do not know who we are, and we cannot make wise decisions about where we should be going. However, while the nature of the memory is a constant. The nature of history has changed positively over years for good, but also for ill. So you got to understand the memory aspect is an individual without their memory don't know where they're going, what they're doing, if they don't have their memory, right? But memory is a constant. If you lose your memory, it's clearly obvious. We know that people will lose things. They can't remember stuff. But history has changed positively over the years. This is good and bad. Now, you know this to be true. History has changed. Some situations we find ourselves in now are due to some of the decisions we made previously. So it changed the course of our history. Watch this. Because if we would have made, I'll use me, I don't want to talk about you because I don't want you to be offended. But if I would have made different decisions previously, it would have changed the route of my history. Watch this. Both good and ill. So that means bad and good. So history can be determined sometimes by our decisions we make or do or don't make. So you got to understand, in regards to your purpose, decisions are very important. Or let's use another word, choices. Choices are very important. The choices we make today can cause harm, or watch this, the choices we make today can also do good for the future. It's all dependent upon why we're making them and what's our motives for making these adjustments. All right, let's see what else we got here. This is good stuff. I pray that y'all getting something here. I'm trying to take my time. I'm only on the first page. I don't want to rush it. I want y'all to get something. I pray that y'all being able to. I'll put the link in the comments or in the questions. Matter of fact, let me do this before I forget. Let me put this for anybody who want to get the lesson from the comment section later. I'll put a link to it, and you can download that if you don't have it already. And you can go on there and click the link, and you'll be able to download that. I want you to look at it so you'll have it for your own personal edification. Okay, let's move. It says pain touches everyone. Woo! Man, tell me that ain't true. Pain touches everyone. Remember that after darkness comes light. Time passes. Feelings change. And tough times become temporary. Good God almighty, man. Pain touches everyone. So you might be going through a painful moment at this moment, right? You might be going through that. But remember that after darkness comes light. My life, when my life was in darkness, I always had in my mind that my life can be something different. I won't lie to you. I did not know how my life could end up being different, but I always had in the back of my mind, my life can't just end like this with me being on heroin, me going back and forth to prison, me being in all these relationships and not having. I just knew that darkness had to turn into light. So pain touches everyone. You're not exempt from going through pain. That after darkness comes light. Time passes, feelings change, and tough times become temporary. So you got to understand, tough times become temporary as darkness turns to light. So I understand we have a lot of things that we're going through. And as we're on the process of changing from one particular lifestyle to another, or let me use my term, adjusting from one lifestyle to another, you have to understand that pain is going to be present because some of us, matter of fact, all of us have done things when we were under the influence of something that actually caused harm to some of our loved ones. This is not just me. I know I ain't the only one. We have done things and it caused pain, but we got to understand, we'll get past that because darkness will turn into light. Now, the pain that I caused my children or my spouse or my parents or my siblings, the pain I caused them before, that was a dark place. But that darkness comes to light. There are times where I'll be amazed when somebody will call and ask me to pray for them, right? When before, when I was in my dark days, they will call me and say, stay away from me. But now it's like, can you pray for me? So you see how darkness can turn to light? I didn't know that would be possible, but the same people who used to say, stay away from me, keep them away from me, are the same individuals who reach out to you and possibly ask for prayer. Now, granted, that's a very humbling thing, because for somebody to ask you to do something like that, they have to understand that you are no longer the person that you used to be. That's a great place for you to give God praise right there. All right, let's see what we got. This is good. This is good time, man. I'm feeling this, and it's only on first page, man. I hope y'all getting something, because I'm giving my own self something. Okay, let's see what we got. It says hardships. Hardships. Let me see what this guy here. I got another thing I can read. Okay, I can go here. Watch this. It says hardships are similar in that we learn from pushing through the difficulties we face. By facing an initial lack of success and with resilience, we can grow significantly more by reassessing how we approach these challenging experiences. So hardships are similar in that we learn from pushing through the difficulties we face. Listen to me. You're going to face some hardships in the process of your recovery, right? In the process of you going, I like to say, instead of recovery, I use it, but I like to say it's going from one lifestyle to a better lifestyle. You're going to have hardships. You're going to have to endure. We teach you must have endurance. So hardships are similar in that we learn from pushing through the difficulties. Listen, when you are faced with some type of hardship, they vary from person to person, from situation to situation, right? When you push through those difficulties or hardships, right, you will learn something not only about yourself, but you'll also learn something about your relationship with the walk that you're trying to be on. Whenever you're faced with hardship, it normally, until you met me, you normally resort back to what you used to do. But I'm telling you that the minor adjustment that you need to make is when you face with these hardships that used to push you back to what you used to do, whatever substance or crimes or alcohol or pills or whatever it was that you used to do. When you face with these hardships, these difficulties, I appeal to you. Push through that. Don't go back to what you used to do. Push through it. You'll learn something about yourself. And then the next time something comes, oh, did I tell you? It's going to come back again. Oh, man, I don't want to sell you. I don't want to sell you on everything just going to go smooth. But when you go through a hardship or difficulty or whatever term you want to use, when you push through it and don't go back, remember our motto, anywhere but backwards. Let me put it on the screen. You remember our motto is anywhere but backwards. So when you go through these hardships, when you go through these difficulties, I'm telling you something I've learned. I faced difficulties in year one. I didn't go back. I pushed through it. I learned something. I faced difficulty in years two. I didn't go back. I pushed through it and I learned something. And each time difficulties showed up, they became easier to deal with, to the point where my wife will even tell you, she say, my husband just be like, man, it'll be all right. We'll figure it out. We'll work. It's no longer it's no longer a burden, because how? It didn't just come like that. I just had to keep going through the difficulties, and I kept learning, like, I got this. I don't know how it's going to work out. I have faith. I do have faith. I have faith that it's going to work out in my favor. And I also understand, I teach this about obstacles and distractions. I now know that certain things are just obstacles or they're just distractions. So I try to stay connected to that particular perspective. I hope you understand what I'm saying. All right. Let me see. Let me put my thing back up. All right. See what we got. Let me read this again. All right. Man, we still on page 1. All right. Hardships are similar in that we learn from pushing through the difficulties we face. By facing the initial lack of success and resilience, we can grow significantly more. We're going to grow. You're going to grow. I told you, they kept coming. Hardships kept coming. Difficulties kept coming. I was learning by pushing through those difficulties, by pushing through those hardships. And as I learned from going through it, or as I kept pushing through them, no matter how they were coming up, I grew significantly. And this is important because I have some of my friends who started on the same path as me, and they kept going back to what we used to do. However, I kept pushing through the hardships, pushing through the difficulties, and I grew significantly. This is not something that just worked for me. By my prayers for your life, it will work for you as well. I'm telling you, it will work for you as well. Let's move here. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, I talked about this. Watch this. Look at this, y'all. Our choices and actions matter. Remember, I know this is my book and everything, but I actually didn't know that it was coming up. Remember, I talked about our choices and our actions because our choices can affect the future. What we do, it can hurt us. It can be good or it can be bad. I talk to you right now. Remember, whatever choice you're going to make, don't just react. Calm down, pause, think about this choice. If I make this choice, or if these actions, we got to find out, is it going to affect everybody or will it just affect me? Is it going to come out good? Is it going to be bad? This is the part of our life that we cannot just be reactive. We have to pause and find out, is this a good choice to make? Right? So it says our choices and actions matter. In some ways, it's a mystery that we can't fully understand. However, that doesn't mean it's not true. We can choose to do things that will bring us more joy and give us more of a sense of direction in life. You see that? We can choose to do things that will bring us more joy. I can't stress this enough. During this group with everybody who's tuned in on Facebook and YouTube, it brings me joy to be able to use my life, what I have been through, to be able to try to mentor or pour into any other men or women. It brings me joy to be able to do that for other individuals. Why does that bring me joy? Because I discovered that was my purpose that God has given me, to use my personal experiences to try to help individuals, not only help them, but tell them and show them that it's possible for you never to go back to the life that you used to live. I'm telling you this, and I can't stress it enough. August, I celebrated 15 years removed from it. I did not do that on my own. My Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, guided me all the way. However, I am telling you that you can possibly live the life and never go back to your old life again. I pray that you understand that. Let's see what we got here. We looking good. All right, let me go to page 2. What's on page 2? Let's see what we got. Now, okay, if you have this lesson, it says, write lessons that you learned from your hardships. Write down lessons that you learned from your hardships you faced. And what advice, watch this question. What advice would you give your younger self? All right. What lesson did you learn from your hardships that you've been through in your life? And what advice would you give your younger self? Let me give my own younger self some advice right now. The advice I would give my younger self is I would tell my younger self Mr. Michael Mickey Williams Jr. The individuals that are in your life and was trying to guide you were not trying to guide you to stop you from having fun. They were trying to give you advice and guide you so you can experience the life that they was already living. That's the advice I would give my younger self. I would tell my younger self, basically, shut up and listen to somebody that's already living the life that you desire to live. Man, that's deep. Because all my life, I had individuals who was living the life that I wanted to live, but I didn't listen to the advice that they was giving me. So the lessons I learned from my hardship would be the advice I would give my younger self. I would tell my younger self, hey, man, I think you should listen to all these counselors and all these people who trying to help you. So look at that. All right. If you got this paper or write this question down, what lesson that you learned from your hardships you face, and what advice would you give your younger self? Let's look at a reflection here. Help create a meaning, an essential element to live a life with direction. It transforms thoughts into real learning about how beliefs and values affect happiness, life choices, and goal achievements. Understanding, pay attention, child. Understanding how your beliefs and values affect is the first step towards revealing your life's purpose. So you understanding how your beliefs and your values, your beliefs, your values, affects your life purpose. It affects it because if you have a belief about something or a person or a religion or whatever, right? A race, if you have that belief, that's going to affect your life purpose. Because if a person that's green was supposed to help me get down this road, but I don't like people who are green, right? Then it will affect my life purpose, because my belief and my values is people who are green can't help me. I hope y'all understand that. Listen, let's read it one more time. Listen to me. Understanding how your beliefs and your values affect is the first step towards revealing your life purpose. You have to understand that each one of us has received a gift, a particular spiritual talent, which means we have a particular talent and skill that if we use it correctly, we will be able to see its fruit. Each of us have a gift or a particular spiritual talent. If we use it correctly, we'll be able to see fruits from it. I can't stress enough some of the gifts and some of the talents that God has blessed me with. I simply use those gifts and talents to try to inspire other individuals, men or women, incarcerated in a rehabilitation center or just out in public. I try to use those gifts and talents to inspire them. When someone reaches out to me and they let me know how much I was able to assist them or how much they appreciate me trying to help them, that's the fruit of me using my gifts and my talents to help other individuals. When you use your gifts correctly, individuals will come back to you and they will say, I appreciate you, man. I thank you. I'm glad that you was able to be in a position to help me. And that's part of you seeing fruit from what you are doing. But the key is, watch this word right here, y'all. It says, if we use it correctly, if we use our gifts and our particular talents correctly, you have to discover what your particular talents and your gifts are. And then you have to spend time developing those gifts and those talents. And then you need to learn how to use them correctly. If you use them correctly, you will start to see fruit from your gifts and your talents. I hope you understand that. All right, let's move on. I'm going to move here. All right, the question is down the bottom. To maximize your purpose, you must ask yourself 3 questions. I teach this too. This is very, very good. It says, what's my present situation? Which means, where are we now? The next one is, what's my desired destination? Which means, where are you trying to get to? And the third one is, what's the steps in between? So these questions right here are something that you can write down and you can go over. And again, for example, let's use the first one. It says, what's my present situation? Which means, where are we now? It says, for example, I'm in a sober living house, just came from rehabilitation. Or you might be in a program, right? Or you might be incarcerated, or you might be in anywhere, right? That's your present situation. But don't let your present situation discourage you. The next one is, what's my desired destination? For example, my desired destination is to get my own apartment, attain employment, and to have a family. So if that's your desired destination, don't let your present situation stop you from thinking that you can achieve that. Because remember, it's all a process. Remember, making the minor adjustments along the way. All right. Then the last one was, this is a great one. What's the steps in between? For example, I will put in the application, get a job, save money, and then buy an apartment. So all these things, everything that you want to do has steps. Ironically, they talk about the 12 steps. There's steps. There are things you have to do. So when you're making minor adjustments, there are also steps. When you're thinking about what 3 things you need to do, your present situation, your desired destination, and what do I have to do in the middle to fulfill where I'm trying to go, there's going to be some steps. You might just have to go through the process. You mastered process. I teach it as well. You have already mastered process. It's not really a hard deal. You're going to be fine. You're going to have to take your time. Don't rush. We don't need to get it all together. All my life, when I first came home, the last rehabilitation program or discipleship program that I was in, I didn't have a license. I was walking. I got me a bike. After I got my bike, I got my license. My wife had 2 cars. She had an extra car. I was able to drive that car. Then I brought my own car. So those are all steps. I walked, bike, used her car, got my license, used her car, then I got my own car. It's the same process you're going to have to take in regards to whatever your desired destination is. All right. Let's see. All right. We good here. I think we got one more here. Okay. Let's see what we got. When you're following your purpose, this is good, y'all. You must. Notice the must is capitalized. You know, that's like a yeah. When you're following your purpose, you must develop in these areas. It's 5 of them. Discipline. You have to live a disciplined life. Structure. You have to be accustomed to having structure in your life. You need integrity. You definitely have to walk in some character. And also, the last one, you got to have some boundaries. Listen, when you are following your purpose, you must develop in these areas. Discipline. Discipline. You're going to have to live a disciplined lifestyle. Discipline is very important. I'm very disciplined. You don't have to make it a religious or tradition, but I'm very disciplined. When I got off work today, I got off at 4:30. I already knew that I had to do this group at 7. So I went downstairs. I went in the gym. I spent about an hour in the gym, worked out, got out of the gym, came upstairs, took care of myself, freshened up, took a shower, got comfortable, got some water, set up everything to do this class. Why? Because I live a disciplined lifestyle. I try to do things disciplined. But look at the next one. The next word is structure. Structure is very important. A lot of times when we coming out of one lifestyle and going into another lifestyle, we do not like structure. However, if you're in a facility, I appeal to you to adhere to all the structure you have. Allow the structure to help tailor-make you to be ready when you leave the facility, so you are so structured that when you go home or you go into a next particular facility, you'll be so structured that it won't seem like it bothers you. I have a very disciplined and a very structured life. I did that intentional because I want to skip to a word. I want to skip to the last word. I know that I needed to have boundaries. In order for me to have these boundaries, I had to have a disciplined lifestyle. I had to have structure in my life. I had to do that because I knew if I don't set some type of boundaries, I would think that I can go hang with people who are using and I won't use, when I know that that is not possible. So I had to be disciplined. You have to have structure. You have to have integrity. You have to have character. And you definitely, absolutely must set some boundaries. You have to set boundaries. When you're trying to make these adjustments in your life, when you're trying to go from, again, one lifestyle to another lifestyle, these 5 words are something that they have to become so a part of you that I mess around and see you and mess around and forget your name and call you structure. They have to become a part of you. I don't know if you should go do it or not, but you need to get you a t-shirt and put these 5 words on there and say, I am a disciplined, structured man. I am a disciplined and structured woman, or whatever it is. You got to have discipline. You definitely have to function from integrity. You got to have character. Character can be developed because we came from a lifestyle where we were lying, cheating. We had to do that to get what we wanted. But now we are no longer in that life. We have to now develop our character. I know you probably think it's hard. However, start where you are. Listen, we've been lying and stuff so much that sometimes we clean, sober, and we still tell a lie. Yo, for no reason. And the only reason we do it is because we was doing it so much that we feel like we got to do it when we really don't. That's why you got to make, oh man, this is real cliche, minor adjustments. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see. That might have been my last one, I think. Let me see. Oh, yeah, that was it. Let's go back. Let's do a recap. Let's get you out of here. So today, remember, I started off and I said motivation only gets you started. It's your dedication that keeps you going. I told you hardships and difficulties will come. However, when you learn how to push through those hardships and those difficulties, you will start to grow significantly. I also mentioned that you gotta be careful about the choices you make, because your choices you make can either hurt you in the future. It can be good or bad. However, pay attention to your choices. The next one, write lessons that you learned from your hardship. Right? When you write down lessons that you learned from your hardship, and then ask yourself, what advice would you give your younger self? Why is this important? Yeah, let me pull over, pause and park here. The reason why the advice you would give your younger self from the lessons you learned from your hardships are actually things that you can give to somebody else that's possibly in the place where you are no longer at. They're coming out of a place where you used to be. So now you possibly can use the lessons you learned from your hardships and you can give them advice. Oh man, I hope you understand that. Your life is a message. Next, we talked about reflection, how creating essential elements to living the life with directions, right? Remember, I told you your beliefs and your values affect the steps towards revealing your life purpose. If you focus on what your beliefs are and what values you have, if they are not intact, if they're not right, it will affect your life's purpose. Why? Because if you don't like this person, or you don't like that race, or you don't like this person because they have this spiritual belief and you have this spiritual belief, that will mess up your life purpose, because you will basically, watch this, box yourself in from receiving good information. Each one of us has received a gift. Remember, you have a gift. No matter who you are, how long you've been doing what you used to do, you have a gift. If you use your gift correctly, you will start to see the fruit from your gift. Prime example, when I'm helping individuals, when individuals start to walk in that process of changing their life from one bad to a good, when they say, I appreciate you being in place. Yes, I'm mindful that it was God who put me in the position to help them. I'm clear from that. I got that. I don't debate that. I know that. However, I still had to carry out the assignment that God gave me. When they come back and they let me know that I was able, they appreciate me trying to help them in some type of way. That's called the fruit of you using your gift correctly. A lot of times people miss that because they not always, a lot of people will look for fruit as being a financial thing or something or a gift. They could be, but if you miss a person saying they thank you for helping them as not being a fruit, then you'll totally miss that you are actually using your gift correctly. I'm not just talking about me. I'm trying to help you use your gifts and your talents, because I know that each of us has received a gift. And let's see what else we got. I want to leave you with some good stuff here. Remember, the question was, to maximize your purpose, you must ask yourself 3 questions. What's my present situation? What's my desired destination? And what's the steps in between? How can I get to where I'm trying to go? And lastly, remember, in order for you to follow your purpose, you must develop in these areas: discipline, structure, integrity, character, and boundaries. These are all the things we went over today. Again, I appreciate everybody that tuned in today. Everybody who will watch this video later. We'll have another lesson next week, 7 o'clock, same time. I hope you, if you didn't get the lesson, I put the link in there for you to download it or get it to your phone somehow. And write down and do everything you can. Remember, Minor Adjustments is dedicated to preventing and reducing crime. Our primary purpose is to teach men or women how to make the minor adjustments that are necessary in their lives, which will allow them to obtain and maintain productive lifestyle after incarceration and or rehabilitation. Our motto is anywhere but backwards. To God be the glory. I hope that I was able to give you guys something that you can use in the process of your walk from one lifestyle to a better lifestyle. Thank y'all.